Yo, welcome back to the TheVisionLab podcast. It's your boy Cuff, along with my partner, Mr. Ryan Mosley. The TheVisionLab podcast, as you guys know, is the official growth mindset podcast for all visionaries worldwide. We're showing mad love to the cigar community. It's here in the lab where we uncover people's visions and dreams and how those dreams actually come into reality. At the end of the day, folks, it's all about tapping into and becoming the absolute best versions of yourselves. We are super excited. This is going to be a banger today, P.
Yes, sir.
Who we got on the show?
Cuff, today's guests are part of a super cool collective that is helping to serve the housing needs of people here in Dallas and in Houston. Please welcome Nika, Luna, and Damaris of Real Dallas Properties to the TheVisionLab podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Ladies, thank you for joining us.
What up? How we doing?
We're feeling good.
Yeah.
Really good.
The power of social media.
Yes, that's dope.
Shout out to Marixa Alvarez from Behind the Dollar. A couple weeks ago, she said, hey, I was with my friend Damaris. I think she needs to be on you guys' show.
Yeah.
So Marixa, say less. Give me the phone number. Let's make it happen.
And this is right up our wheelhouse too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's right, both of our wheelhouse.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited about this.
Absolutely. So, first question before we kind of get into the business end of all this, right? Like, how did you three actually come together? I know you're part of a bigger collective, but how's everyone connected?
So Nika and I met in real estate 7 years ago. We were working at a different company, and we instantly hit it off, became basically like work besties, and then we always joked about starting our own company, but kind of like got comfortable where we were at for a while. And it wasn't until we were like uncomfortable and unhappy in our work environment that we were like, you know what, I think we got to do this on our own. So Nika had the office manager experience from working at our last company, and I was kind of training other agents there, so our skill sets just kind of matched each other, and we left.
I love that. And so I love that you said the word, you got comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes.
Nika, what was that experience like for you?
I love how you just
It was so like transitioning into like our own.
Yeah.
It was exciting. It was scary. Obviously, like we kind of knew what we were doing because we were the face of the company we were at. We were running everything. Like she said, she was training agents. I was a manager, but really they were all coming to me for stuff. And it was exciting. It's still exciting. It was scary, but it was worth everything.
What was the moment where you guys said, okay, we're going to do this? And I know Mo like to call it the light bulb moment.
A fork in the road, if you will.
Fork in the road. But like, what was it that says, okay, you know what? Fuck it, we're going to do this.
So we were actually in kind of like a abusive environment, or like a toxic environment, I'll say, with our last boss situation. And it came to the point where like she was drunk texting and like, you know, sending message after message, and I mean like paragraphs of like hate messages to Nika.
Wow.
And it was just a really toxic environment, and it was like draining everything out of us. And then magically at the same time, I had figured out that I was eligible to take my broker's exam without taking any more like classes. So typically you have to take 900 additional hours to take a broker's exam, because I had a degree in business and real estate management that basically counted for all of that. So all I had to do was pass the exam. So I remember the day that we talked on the phone, and I was like, yo, all I have to do is pass this exam. And she was like, oh, bet, like, let's go. And then from there, we just started planning every day and figuring out name, color, branding, office location, all the details from there.
A lot of times you have, you know, obviously you ladies are young. And so first of all, I want to commend you on just having that decisive attitude to just jump out there and go. And we all know that success is on the other side of fear. You guys have been successful, and we're going to get into that here in a little bit, but the trepidation that you may have experienced in terms of starting your own brand, being responsible for payroll, finding an office space, etc. What was that process like, and can you talk to our visionaries about what they need to do to kind of overcome those fears?
For sure. I think the biggest thing that helps you overcome your fears in that regard is just researching and figuring out like, what is it actually going to take? Because we always hear from other people, and that was a big thing for us. We had heard how expensive it was going to be to start our own company, and everything that everyone was planting in our heads made it seem like it was so unattainable. And when we actually took the time to like research what it's actually going to take and how much it's actually going to cost, we were pleasantly surprised that like it wasn't
not
overwhelming.
daunting,
Yeah. So I think that's the biggest thing. Of course, staying organized as well. Like we had a 20-page spreadsheet, each tab, like, you know, name ideas. What all do we need to pay for? What are like the monthly recurring costs versus like the one-time fees? You know, different colors, and really like taking the time to narrow in on something and think about it with the mindset of like longevity in the future, as opposed to like, you know, just a quick fix. So we really like the name Real Dallas. This is when I look at this, and when she looks at our logo, like we think of like the hours and hours and hours that it took for us to like come to this name and these colors and like everything we put into it.
I love the merch. I love it.
Thank you so much. We will definitely hook you up.
Most appreciated. So Damaris, you and I, you know, we've talked a couple times now. You don't get to sit this one out. So they obviously, you know, connect, like I said, work besties. How do you fit into this triumvirate?
Well, actually, she can tell you.
So I stalked Damaris on TikTok, and I was like, you know, doing my weekly research on new agents, and I found her like, it was a funny video pretty much of her trying to unlock a lockbox, and I commented on it, and pretty much the rest is history.
Yeah, she.
Got you. So can I switch gears one time, please, sir?
Well, I'm curious before we switch gears. I'm curious, and this is for any of you three ladies, the experience that you had prior to jumping out on your own. How much? I mean, you obviously took real estate courses in college. I'm not sure what you did, but like, how much experience did you guys have owning a business or running a business or anything before you jumped out?
So for me, yeah. So so me and Luna have very, very different roles, and we're very, very opposite. She's obviously very outgoing, very talkative. She does like all of our social media marketing stuff, and I'm like the back of it. So I do all of our accounting, all of our any paperwork. That's me. She doesn't touch it. She doesn't want to touch it. She doesn't know how to touch it. No.
It's okay. Everyone plays a
These
role.
are straight up facts, though. I'll be like, hey, can
Yeah.
you just sign my name here? I don't even know how.
Everybody plays a role. So no problem at all.
My ex-husband had a company, and I pretty much ran his company, and then I ran another company as well, and then the previous brokerage we were at, I ran that one. So that's like all my.
So it was easy for you.
Yes.
It was just so you just need to know where to get started.
Yes.
She was, I think your biggest hurdle was just like, you were so adept to like the business side of it, and once you started doing like, because she's a full-time realtor too, so she was like learning the ins and out of real estate and stuff, and she's used to like being behind the computer, so I think her being like forward facing with the client was something you're really good at now.
Yeah.
No, I love that. I think there's a lot there, and I think that, you know, one of the reasons why we do this show is to help people understand that your dreams are attainable, right? You just have to be willing to take that step. And we talk to you know, hundreds of entrepreneurs and creatives, and there's a one common denominator. It's that willingness to overcome whatever fear that they have, activate their faith, and continue to, you know, press forward and put forth action. You know, so you've been a realtor for how long?
Almost 2 years, going on 2.
Talk about action for me. Like, obviously it garnered Luna's attention, but like, what were you doing to make yourself stand out?
Right. So basically, just social media itself has been evolving for a while now. Instagram has, rolled out different features for us to stand out. Just basically finding my identity of who my audience is going to be, who I want to help, who needs my service, and who actually elevates towards me as well, because not everyone is for you, right? Everybody is different. They need different things, cater differently. And I think it got her attention, the fact that I was willing to stand out. I feel like Real Dallas does a really great job standing out, especially on our platform. So definitely check us out, because we do things different there, definitely.
So let's just get into the business, right? And before I do that, let me say thank you and congratulations to Edwina Brown and the family of Blowing Smoke Cigar Lounge. Congratulations on opening up the new shop. Visionaries, the new address is 1604 North I-35 in Lancaster, Texas. Get to Blowing Smoke Cigar Lounge. If you're anywhere in the southern part of the DFW Metroplex, make sure you get there. We promise you great humidor, great staff, great ambiance. Like, it is exactly what you want when you're looking for a cigar lounge.
What up, DJ Clean?
Come on now.
Too clean.
Yeah, too clean. Mr. Tuesday Night Karaoke. So the business itself, right? Like, okay, you're all realtors, you're a broker, right? But what separates Real Dallas from just any other brokerage or any other group of realtors? Well, what makes you guys different?
So this is a very multifaceted question for
That's
us
why I asked
because
it.
I think we have a lot of things that make us different. But overall, I think the biggest thing is that we just really give our agents the free will to be individuals, and not just represent Real Dallas. We want them to create their own brand, create their own identity, essentially create and run their own business. And with our business model, we have the ability for our agents to expand into, becoming brokers. We want to hire from within. We plan to be in every city in Texas. So everyone that comes into our office and that is working in our Dallas team, if they want to become a broker for, North Dallas, Plano, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, they have the option to do that with us and to grow and expand within the company.
And I love your vision, right? I can feel the energy coming from you as you talk about, Real Dallas. Do you find yourself having to coach your realtors to be blossom into who they were destined to be? Are you doing anything like that to help coach them along?
I don't want to take responsibility for their successes and stuff like that, but definitely we do weekly meetings every week. We do different stuff to try to help them get on the right track or see different methods, learning from each other on how they can expand their business. But I think the biggest thing is helping them believe in themselves, because a lot of our agents, when they come, they've been so put down by the real estate community for having tattoos or just being different on social media, or things that I also experienced being young and in real estate, and just told oh, how many times we've been told y'all will never make it, you dress too skimpy, you act unprofessional, you have the long nails, you have a million things that we've been told that tried to be knocked down by other people in the real estate community that are very old-fashioned. But I think just kind of helping them see that it does not matter who likes you, it does not matter if other people are talking about you or judging you. You know who you are, be yourself and get to your stuff, and they're gonna look at you later and be like, damn, I wish I was doing that. I wish I was being myself, authentically, truly myself, and not putting on this role that other people want me to be, this type of realtor or whatnot.
And what's been your experience on the inside? Can you kind of speak to that?
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely say their availability is it's amazing. We have group chats. We have Tuesday meetings that she mentioned. She shares everything. She holds nothing back. If we learn from each other, honestly. It's the culture for me, truly. We're all there. We all have different scenarios. Even if you're not going through it, you recall, hey, so-and-so. And we all help each other out, It's the knowledge she has. Both of them have different backgrounds, which, water into us a lot of knowledge. So I think it's just availability, honestly. With other brokerages, you don't even get to meet the actual broker, So, and with her, she's available all the time. You can show up to the meetings, you can text her, anything. Honestly, I think that's what makes the difference, that you truly feel a connection with them.
So I've got to ask this question.
I know you're going. Go ahead.
And let's see, because let's see where you are. Let's address the elephant in the room. It's a great thing. I mean, we're sitting here with three beautiful young ladies who've started a business. What has that been like? I mean, talk about the ownership as a female that you guys have experienced and what you're trying to project.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you give them.
No, it's been great. It was very scary. I was scared, but of course we weren't going to show it. We were just going to go for it. But it's been great.
Was it always the idea to have woman business owners and project that hey, we're a strong united front as women?
Yeah, and it's obviously when we met, we knew, okay, we're gonna own this company together, and we are different from other women. Other women do judge or perceive us in some type of way, but we want to be exactly who we are, and the feedback we've gotten from it is crazy. And even from men, we do have 8 men on our team, and it's been an amazing experience. And even I was kind of worried at one point, because I think we had 2 guys and 18 girls, and I was like, man, our ratio's looking pretty.
I'm sure those 2 guys didn't mind it.
Yeah, they weren't upset.
They don't, thankfully. But yeah, it's really been incredible, and especially to be recognized in the community as a woman-owned business, and and again, a minority owned business.
Yeah, that's exactly. I wanted to layer that on. Yeah, for sure. I want to layer that piece on, and any of y'all can address that just from a minority perspective.
Yeah, diversity is something that's really, really huge to us. I grew up in a third world country, so I came from a completely different environment. Nika spent a lot of her high school time in Holland, so we're both just used to being around, you know.
You guys like the United Nations, I see.
Yeah, we have 10 languages spoken at our brokerage of only 50 agents. So, yes, we're very passionate about diversity, inclusivity. It's really just about your vibe for us. If we feel like your vibe is going to match our vibe, we love it, you know? And if we feel like you have that it factor that's going to propel you in your real estate career, that's pretty much
that's a huge thing. So even like when we interview, like we know like 2 minutes into talking with you if you're for us or not. Like we look at each other and we're like, no.
We've had multi-million-dollar producers come into our office that interviewed with us, showed us their statistics, you know, but it just wasn't right. The vibe wasn't right. We wouldn't mesh with them and the team. And, you know, I said this the other day, one bad seed can really like ruin the whole bunch. So we are very selective with who we bring on our team.
Go ahead.
Well, I want to talk about the service, right? And before, I know where you're going. Let me shut up. Go ahead.
So no, the vibe thing is dope, right?
I see your brain working.
But when you start looking, I think this is important for people that have a vision, right? And you've now got that vision up and running and moving. You have to protect that brand, right? You have to do everything you can to make sure that you're bringing in the right people, that you're making the right decisions. Either one of you two, from a leadership perspective, I'd love to know your take on how you make sure that you're protecting the brand at all costs. Because like you just said a couple minutes ago, like you could be a multi-million-dollar producer, but if you're not fitting with this, and you can spoil 49 other agents.
I think protecting the brand really comes at like being in tune with your team. So there's not a week that goes by that I don't speak to every single one of my agents. I think I counted the other day actually because I was interviewing someone and they asked me like how easy are you to get a hold of? Well, in the past 24 hours I've talked to 32 of my agents via text. So, you know, that's a huge thing for them too because they feel checked in on, and if I feel like me and them and her and them are in tune, then we are really protecting our brand because they are just amplifying or like an extension of us.
You know, it's real interesting because there's this new wave as more and more millennials not only are entering into the workforce, but are also being leaders within the workforce. Mm-hmm. You're seeing a paradigm shift of, you know, it's about the culture, the vibe, right? Protecting your energy, right? But a lot of times the conversation really is around, you know, how are you? How are you doing? How's your mental health?
Yep.
You know, what's going on with you? Versus before, probably in our generation, it's like, look, I'm signing your checks.
Yep, work starts at this time. I don't care about what you got going on. Hey,
exactly.
outside of here.
One
Work
major
starts
thing
here.
I also see with Real Dallas is that they actually like believe in you. Like they've done it, so they have like basically the 1, 2, 3 of how you get where you want to be, and so they really back up their agent. So like she said, the inclusivity of it, the following up, everything really makes you believe like, okay, they're behind me. So you know this deal is not a big deal. Like you know I can get it done because I have them in my corner. I honestly, when I get new clients, I always say, you get me, my brokerage, my whole team behind you. Like, you know, this deal, we're not going to drop the ball. You know, it's all of our mindset, our experience, everything that we have going on for this client.
So you just kind of open the door in regards to the actual service, right? Mm-hmm. You three strike me as like we're just not the everyday realtors. We're just not taking orders or whatnot. Right. Explain the level of service that if I am somebody watching or listening to this episode, by the way, like, subscribe, share, all the above. Explain to me the type of service that I'm going to get should I choose to go into business with Real Dallas.
Okay, so I think for us it's about nurture the seed and you grow the tree. So we want to be there for you throughout your entire...
That's the title of this episode. Say it again.
Nurture the seed and you grow the tree. We want to be there for you throughout your entire life because real estate comes in every point of your life. Whether you're needing an apartment, whether you're needing to rent a home and then moving into buying a home and then moving into buying an investment property or a commercial space, or whatever you're moving to California and you need us to property manage for you. So there really is like a time and season for all of these different transactions, and there are so many realtors that just do one thing and then they don't see their clients again for 5-10 years if they even retain that client. So for us, we really try to educate our clients on, hey, I can help you with anything. Any season of life that you're in, I got you. And hey, now that you've made this great investment into your home, let's make another great investment, and let me show you how, build that generational wealth for you and your family. How you can get into this, fourplex and rent them all out and get this much income a month, and then take that money and put it into something else. So we're really about education.
Love that. We're talking about the inner workings of Real Dallas, right? But I also want to, I'm really into mindset, and you used that word a couple of minutes ago. What type of mindset do you have to A, be an agent, and B, run a brokerage?
You can start.
Okay. I definitely have to be very, I guess you would say, like, thick-skinned, I guess, because it's not going to be easy. Like, if it was easy, everyone would be doing. I think the statistic of a realtor making it past the first year is horrible. Like, they will not make it, right? But I think that when you have a team, like I said, that backs you, that tells you, hey, it's really not that hard. I think that a lot of people even have the misconception of buying a house is really difficult. But when you sit down and you say, hey, you do A, B, and C, and then you get to where you want to be, they just make it so much easier, honestly. What you have to have is like perseverance too, because it's not going to come easy. Like I said, the statistics shows otherwise. But when you really want it and you have someone that backs you up, mindset will, it'll help you. It'll push you through.
You said the word perseverance, and I'm coming right over to you next. Talk about the grind. That's one of our things is that we're just
believe in it.
Everything and anything as a potential lead. I mean, sometimes, it's just acts of service. You don't have to receive anything. Like she said, you're watering that plant. I mean, if you're truly genuine with your clients and you want the best interest, you can't fool that. Like, it's evident, and you just have to be out there getting it every day. Like, chasing anything, it's the lead, honestly. Like, talking to you, networking, social media, just everything is a potential if you choose to look at it that way. So you can have interactions, and if you don't have that mindset or that vision, like, you just left everything on the table. So you really have to have that mindset of, hey, I want to achieve greater, I want to be better, this is not enough, hungry, perseverance overall.
So visionaries, listen to what she's saying. Look for the opportunities to be successful. That's exactly what it is. I mean, you can look at the glass half full or half empty. The choice is really up to you. Luna.
Yeah, really quickly, just touching on perseverance. Future, in one of his songs, he says, I tried to give you the formula, but you wouldn't take it. Hard work and perseverance, they ain't related. And that's one of my favorite lines because it is so true. Like, you could put in the hard work, but if you quit, like, your goal is just right on the other side of that, like, hump that you're facing. I believe she's the
first person to ever, we're 135, 140 episodes in, she's the first person to quote Future.
Shout out to Future.
First person, we're gonna tag Future in this. She's the first person to quote Future.
Future, we need you on the show, baby.
Come on now.
Real stuff.
No, that's a dope quote.
Yeah, I like it. So it's one of those things to where, again, shout out to Marixa for connecting us to Maris. Nika, because you like to be quiet in the background.
Yes.
I'm not going to let you do it. I'm not going to let you do it. So you see all the paperwork that comes through, right? And I'm asking this is a very, I don't use the word personal, right? But what type of, how do you view your responsibility? Because like you said, you crunch all the numbers, the signatures, I'm sure the stamps, permits,
I haven't
everything.
looked at our bank account in a month.
Yeah, everything that is ultimately vitally important to making sure the business sustains itself. How do you view your daily responsibility? That's the bag you carry for this company.
Stressful. No, it's something that I love. Like that for me. I don't know. I guess like control is something that I love. So being in control
crazy.
of that, I love it. And like I guess just being responsible for all of that. It's important to me. And it makes me feel important because obviously like she counts on me, and then like all of our agents count on us. pay our bills. And, obviously, like, look over contracts, make sure the contracts are being submitted on time so that they can get paid on time. Because if they're not, they don't get their checks.
Nobody's happy.
Exactly.
Me and Nika make this joke sometimes that it's like we're playing musical chairs and there's like 20 chairs and one's labeled like accounting, marketing, training, billing, invoicing, and it's just me and her and we're just running around the room trying to sit in every chair before the music stops.
How do you balance that, right? 'Cause like you said, like ultimately the buck stops with you two.
Yeah.
Like when it's all said and done at the end of the day, everything's got to be settled up. Buck stops between you two. Like how do you balance all those responsibilities but still keep your sanity, for lack of a better word?
Luckily, it's come really naturally to us because, like she said, like all the things that she likes to do, I would just crawl in a hole if I had to do them. But and vice versa.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like, so yeah, we've never stepped on each other's toes. There's never been something that's like, did you do that? No, I didn't do it. Like we know where our roles lie. And we honestly have never once in our career had a conversation about that. Like, you do this, I'll do this.
Yeah.
It just,
We
we
just
knew
knew,
from the beginning.
Yeah.
When did y'all know it was gonna work? Because we've talked to a lot of people who have
Immediately.
Yeah.
Really.
To be honest, like,
Do tell.
and that's what I was about to say with you as far as like what mindset you have to have is like, I already made it. Like, we've already accomplished this. Like, I'm already a real estate mogul. I've already, I own high rises. All these things that I believe that I'm going to do, I genuinely believe that I've already done them. They're just not happened yet.
We have so many things to talk
Yeah.
about. I'm sure Damaris has already told you. There's so many things to talk about.
And
Go ahead.
and she's really helped me a lot too because I'm the worrier and she's like the one that just she's like, it's gonna be fine, everything's gonna be fine. So we really balance each other out and that's been a huge blessing.
Is that who you naturally are? You're always, hey, everything's gonna be okay? Because I'm somewhere in the middle, like me personally, right? Like he and I don't really sleep, right? We've always got something going on, and so I'm stuck somewhere between. Things are what they are, but at the same time, have a positive mindset in the sense, like you said, I like that. I've already done it. As now, I'm just going to actually take the steps to do it. I think that, but also I have this realistic side of myself. It's very pragmatic, I think is the word. Where I'm like, okay, yes, you believe you're going to do this, you believe it's done, but at the same time, at some point, you gotta go do it. And so when you guys first stepped out there, like what was the first time you said, I did it? Now everything that I've already said is a real deal. So like, what was that experience?
Okay, I think the first time that I really truly believed that this was gonna work is when we first started really interviewing, and I had booked us like 15 interviews in 1 week. And we had a tiny little office. Like when I tell you, like this thing was 150 square feet. It was just me and her in there. And so we didn't do our interviews at our office because we were like low key like embarrassed. Like we don't,
Hey, everybody got to start somewhere.
Yeah, so we had interviews at a coffee shop, and out of those 15 interviews, we hired 11 people. So that's when I really, really believed that it was going to work, because I was like, wow, there's something about me and you that we're able to sell ourselves just in this coffee shop with nothing. Like, we're telling people, hey, we don't have an office yet. We don't have, like, a place for you to go and work, and they still want to come on and work with us. Like, I guess that's when I really believed.
Yeah.
Who is your prototypical agent that you guys are looking for? Like, if somebody listens to episodes, like, if I'm trying to get my start in real estate, like, I just got my realtor's license, but okay, what brokerage do I need to go work at? Like, who is the ideal person that you guys looking to join your team?
Somebody that's a go-getter, that really just, I see them, like, putting in the effort outside of, exactly what I tell you to do. It's great if you can do the things that I tell you to do, but the people that go and find new and creative ways to do things outside of even what I've done, that's really the type of person that is the most ideal.
Are you willing to take someone fresh out and fresh into the...
So we have been, but we actually just a couple weeks ago are only taking agents with 8 months minimum experience. And that's only because we have a really, really strong group, and we do have 30% newer agents. So we're looking now for more seasoned agents to help fill those mentorship roles and be guiding those newer agents as well.
That's great. I'm really in awe. So there's two cities underneath your umbrella. Talk to our audience about where you guys are operating.
So we operate full-time out of our Dallas office. We haven't quite yet got a Houston office. We're just a virtual office there. However, we do have 12 agents there, and I was just there last week office shopping. So It's a journey, of course. It kind of feels like we're starting over because these are the same things that we were doing a few years ago, but it's definitely more comfortable, because we've been through them before. But yeah, we really just want to expand and get out there as much as possible. We also really like the idea of our agents being able to sell properties in Houston if they want to. Same with our Houston agents being able to sell property in Dallas and just having a bigger network statewide.
So while we're here, why don't you go ahead and give your social media handles and how they can, follow you, get to your website. Maybe they want to send in an application.
Yeah, so our social media handles are really easy. It's Real Dallas Properties on Instagram and as well as Facebook, and it's RealDallasProperties.com. And for Houston, it's Real Houston Properties and RealHoustonProperties.com. And I check those DMs, including the message request, every 6 hours. So I will see your message.
Every 6 hours?
Yeah, I'm
Probably more than that.
I'm a
Honestly,
psychopath,
probably more
honestly.
than that.
She's definitely the butterfly. You're definitely a social butterfly. It's all good. And before we get to that part of it, right? Allow me to say thank you to the good folks at Class A Vodka Cuff. Crystal, Tim, thank you guys so much for all your support. We see what you guys are working on. Visionaries, get your hands on a bottle of Class A Vodka. We stand on it for a reason. The slogan is Class in Every Glass. The Instagram handle is at Class A Vodka. That's Class A with a K. Again, we promise you it will change your life when it comes to vodka. Get your hands on a bottle of Class A Vodka. Social media.
Yes.
You found Damaris through social media. You stalked her. Obviously,
She's not the only one either.
As an owner, how important has it been in terms of one, getting the company name out there, but two, but filling the roles that you need filled? I mean, you don't strike me as somebody who just kind of put some stuff out on Indeed. Like, you really hit the pavement and made it happen.
No, yeah. Social media is like a huge passion in my life. So I've really seen, like, I'm a millennial, so I've seen, I didn't have a cell phone, I didn't have the internet on my phone, and then boom, it was there, and now here we are. So I really have seen the power of it, as well as, I started real estate when I was 20 years old. So
Was that like last year?
7 years, but close. So I really have just seen my own business grow that way. And, the company that we previously worked for, they didn't have a social media presence before we came along. So my great mistake was like focusing so much on building them and doing that. And of course I got my own leads and stuff from social media, but it wasn't until maybe 4 years ago that I really started pouring everything into social media. I would make Nika take stupid little skit videos and pictures and make her do, memorize lines to take
I would love to see your skit video.
Fleet fish out of
God,
water.
please no.
I mean, we would record so many clips to the point where I was like, just pick one. Any of them. But I firsthand saw it working in my own life, I was young. All of my deals were coming from me talking about things on social media. And so now when I'm mentoring, it's like I've done it, so I know that it works. You just have to be consistent. So that's the biggest.
I want to challenge you, Nika, from the perspective, since we're talking about social media. Obviously, you guys are young, but talk to our visionaries that may be a little bit older that are looking to take that leap of faith and transition into a life of real estate or being a broker or what have you. How would they go about creating an audience and leveraging social media and the platforms that exist?
Yeah, I mean, you just have to do it. Like, and that's something that I kind of struggled with because, like, even on Instagram, I mean, I posted a picture every, 3 months. Like, I didn't post on there. But then, whenever I met Luna and realized, she was always on social media and posting, I'm like, oh, and then she was getting clients from there. I was like, oh, okay, this really works. So, I got to step my game up.
And she has her own platform that she, Snapchat is her thing. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing too, everyone's gonna have their own platform. Some people love TikTok, some people love Facebook, some people are Snapchat. That was my thing. That's where all of my clients from last year, every single one of them came from Snapchat, because all I did was snap all day. And for her, it's Instagram. But it's definitely important. It's obviously the future. It's now.
It's just leveraging your own uniqueness and just putting it out there. Whether you're 65 years old, 22 years old, whatever your interests are, there are people that are like-minded, and that's why I preach so heavily. Just be yourself. Stop trying to be someone else or act like someone else. Be yourself and make yourself a real estate influencer. Talk about real estate. Talk about, how you can invest. Just teach people. When you drop these little like gems of knowledge, even just on your story, people send it to their friends. They'll follow you. People are like, oh, this girl's really like putting out some free game. So that's kind of how we've...
Should use one of your words, leverage.
Yeah, for sure. Real quick, you with social media, right? Like, obviously, it got you a job, right? You've leveraged, so you were stolen.
Yeah.
Damaris is stolen.
Thief in the night.
But to those that have been in the game for a while, so we talked about being young and doing that. We talked about being old, but let's talk older. Let's talk about
I got you.
not you. That was your answer. Or question, but for those that have been a seasoned professional, why they need to jump into the social media platforms that exist.
Right. Social media works while you sleep. You literally can archive everything that you've ever done, things that you want to get out there, and they can just tap in while you're doing other things. Like, it works for you while you're not there. I do believe that social media can be taught. I mean, it's a replication game, right? But you just add your personal spin to it. So even if you're an older person, younger person, not outgoing or whatnot, there's different ways where you can cater to the audience that, will attract your ideal client. Like I mentioned before, not everyone is for you. That's why we're all so different and we all have our audience. And so once you can niche down to who your audience is, then I feel everything will come easy.
So earlier, before we got on camera, there's two sides to the business, and I want to give you guys the opportunity to make sure that that people know that there's a distinction with Real Dallas.
Well, I'll talk about the brokerage side, and I'll let her talk about the property management side. So on the brokerage side, we sponsor agents. We help them, flourish in their career. But on the property management side,
Yeah, so we offer, like she said, we offer property management, which not every brokerage does. A lot of them refer you out, or they just flat out say, like, we don't offer property management. And for investors, property management is super important because they're not going to manage their own property, obviously. Like, they want someone. So for them to come to us, it's like a one-stop shop. They can purchase their property with us, and then they have me to manage their property.
Now, is there a team? Or you handle accounting and
so you are property management, accounting,
real estate.
You do everything.
Wow.
You have to make sure she's always available. I'm sure.
I mean, we're married.
We are.
Wife to wife. But yeah, no, there hasn't been a day in 7 years that we haven't texted. Yeah.
What does that do for a relationship, right? Like, I'm thinking, like, he and I talk all the time, but like, he and I can go a couple days without talking because we have things mapped out. But
Y'all fight ever or argue?
no, because we want the same thing.
Yeah. We've never had a fight, and people don't believe us when we say that.
Even a disagreement.
Not even a slight like, ugh, I'm annoyed with you.
Yeah, even if we have a difference of opinion, like, we'll do, okay, put the facts on the table, then let's make an adult decision. That's how it normally goes.
Yeah, we've never had a fight.
With her, if she's like really like passionate about something, she's gonna tell me, and otherwise, like, she doesn't care and she'll let me decide pretty much.
So there's a great deal. How do you deal with conflict? Obviously, you guys don't have any, but amongst your agents.
We get rid of the
drama we eliminate
immediately.
Yeah. We don't tolerate it.
No. I mean, there's an instigator and there's a victim. The instigator's got to go. But we really like observe people. We've only had like one situation that I can think of that we got rid of someone that just wasn't a fit for the team, and it was the final straw. It was from multiple different people's perspective. So yeah.
You hold people's lives in your hand.
I see. Before we land the plane, allow me to say thank you to the good people of Dallas Leaf LLC. Ron, Sheree, David, the entire army. Get with the good folks at Dallas Leaf LLC visionaries. Whether it's cigars, entertainment, charity events, whatever you might need. If you're anywhere here in DFW, get with the good folks at Dallas Leaf LLC. The web address is dallasleafllc.com. The Instagram handle is @DallasLeafLLC.
So let's open it up a little bit. I think your vibe, your energy is off the charts. I'm digging, and I think you guys are going to be wildly successful. I see you owning the skyscrapers and multiple apartments and things like that. What do y'all do to blow off steam?
I'm a homebody, so like I'm like the Netflix and order food in and chill. If you can't tell, like I talk all day long. So like I talked all day long at the office today, 6 hours constantly. When I'm there, question, team meeting, question, and then like.
So you get home. When you get home, do you just have like a 30, 45-minute period? Like I'm just not gonna talk. Period. Because I'm like that in my job. I'm like
I
that,
used
right?
to be like that.
Yeah, I'm like that in my day job now, or whatever. Like my wife will look at me sometimes like, "What's wrong?" Like I just don't feel like talking.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have those days. I definitely have those days. But I think at this point, like, I would say a couple years ago, that was me. But at this point, I literally talk all day, every day, 5 days a week. So it's like I'm just used to it. But yeah, in my free time, I do nothing because I have to like.
Yeah. What's the word you use? A respite.
Yeah, you gotta have a respite.
Gotta have a respite at some point.
Nika, what about you? Because we know
I
you
mean,
probably
these
talk
days,
all the time.
I do, you know. No, I feel like these days there really aren't any rest days. It's constantly, I mean, we're constantly, like, she always, like, she'll text me in the middle of the night, like, oh my God, I have these thoughts, like, she has these plans, and so we start putting them into place.
I know.
That's,
Her text messages are, I'll text her 30 times in a row sometimes, and I'm like, just read it when you have time.
This is the third one of these that we've gone through. So I have the original one that we started the podcast with, and I just finished off another one. This is the third one. All podcast stuff goes in. Get you one.
Yeah.
Christmas present.
How about you, Damaris?
Well,
And
I
it
have a
sucks.
whole family, so just spend time with them. Honestly, it's an issue. Sometimes I have to turn off my phone literally because incoming calls or like social media. Even if you don't manage it well, it'll consume you. Always notifications going off, things that demand your attention. But I think when you're intentional, at least with the family, I take the time and give them what I have 2 kids, so they're ever growing. Every time I see them, I'm like, how did you get that big? So I have to spend dedicated time with them.
And that's one of the things I was actually going to parlay into, which was, I don't know if y'all have kids either. Do you?
Yes.
Okay. Do you? No. Okay. So as a female business owner who's young, and as a woman, like where does family and having kids, how are you going to navigate? How are you going to navigate those waters?
Yeah, I think it is hard because like I am married to my job, like, and especially like in this position now, I don't know, it's just hard because I feel like men probably find me intimidating in my like work environment. But
the right one doesn't.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
right one does.
no,
The right
no,
one will
I
be
agree.
happy.
The right one's going to be right there with you.
Exactly. That way, because he knows that, hey, if I get the flu for 3 or 4 days, I know my house isn't going to go to shit because my partner is going to be able to take care of things.
Yeah. I mean, I want those things, but I think she's also really grounded me. Like, since I was 20, she's been like, hey, chill, don't have kids. Like, don't have kids yet. She had kids when we have a 9-year age gap between us, which is, I think, also a really unique thing. We come from totally different, like, environments and worlds, and yet we get along so perfectly, but she's kept me really grounded and, like, really helped me see.
Y'all were meant to meet each other.
For sure. So Nika, how do you balance, we don't like that word, juggle, family life, being a mom, being a business
superwoman,
owner?
literally.
You are. Like, where's your cake?
Yeah, so I mean, my kids are a little bit older. I also have a grandbaby, so I started young. I started very young.
I heard that, guy.
So they kind of grew up with me, and for me, it was super important to show them that. I mean, I was married for a long time, but then whenever we divorced, it was very important to show them, like, you don't need someone. Like, you can do everything yourself, and everything is attainable as long as you work hard for it. So that was super important to me, and they know what it is. They know you have to work hard, and so they know what it is.
They want to
know
do
what I
it
have
too.
to do. Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them little realtors.
So we have yes. We have reached the portion of the show we call Landing the Plane. This is brought to you by the good folks at Grand Brulot. Thank you to Francisco, the owner, Jameson, the Lovers team, everybody who is a part of this partnership. We appreciate you guys' support. Ladies, this is unlike anything you've ever tasted, which is why. Go ahead, Cuff.
What is it?
You about to find out.
Yeah.
Is it wine? Is it
No,
Just trust us.
It's a
You've
cognac that
you've
you're
gotten
gonna
this far
enjoy.
with us. You've gotten this far with us. Just trust us.
Yeah, we're super anxious. We do this on every episode to allow you guys to taste this fantastic, what we believe is a fantastic product. Obviously, we stand behind it. You're gonna want to sip this, not shoot it. This isn't
Yes.
like a.
You want to mix it with your tequila?
Yeah, go ahead and finish off
Yeah,
that
you gotta
tequila
finish
shot.
that. I'm just gonna pour a little bit for you. While I'm doing that, Mo.
So, one of the questions we ask everybody who's on the show, and this is chime in however you guys would like to, right? Or you can go down the line. It's you guys, and there's a round table. And normally we say it's 5 seats, right? Because it's one person we're talking to. But, just call it, we'll give each of you 3. How about that? We'll give each of you 3. So there's a round table, and each of you get to bring 3 guests to your table. Who are your guests? The only stipulation is that they can't be... it can't be whatever religious...
Jesus.
Yeah, it can't be whatever
God.
religious deity you believe in. Outside of that, dead or alive, who do you want your table?
But you have to have a sip first before you answer your
Yes, come on.
We started.
To real Dallas.
Yeah, to real Dallas.
Real Dallas.
Cheers.
Woo, cheers.
Don't shoot it.
Don't shoot it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, so
You put me on the spot.
I'll go first. I feel
Go
comfortable.
ahead.
Of course, you know.
Okay, my number 1 would be Elon Musk because I think he's a visionary. I just absolutely love him. I think nothing but good things about that man. My second would probably be Albert Einstein. I really have like a interest in people that have like either Asperger's or like some kind of like social disability that are just like geniuses. So those 2, and then the third one.
You know they say geniuses are usually flawed in some manner.
Yeah, they definitely are.
Whether
they
you're a
definitely
musical
are.
genius, a comedic genius, like people who are, considered genius level at whatever they do, they usually have some type of like glaring flaw.
Yeah. Big facts. But the third one would probably be maybe Tom Ferry. He's a real estate mogul. He has just really inspired me throughout my entire career, and I actually have had the opportunity to meet him briefly.
well, he's gonna know your name.
I sure do hope so.
Wow, okay. Obviously being put on the spot is not my thing, but I like Elon Musk, but I also like Pitbull is like my thing. I love his whole everything he does, what he does for his community, his the way he works, his work ethic. Like I just love it. Ever since I was little, like I was like, oh my god, like I love that. Who else?
You got 2 more.
I know.
I want to change
And
one of my
that is
answers
dead-
already.
dead or
Give
alive.
it to me.
Kylie Jenner. I think
No,
I
I
really
like her.
admire her, like that she built her
Yeah.
from
that's
1 million
true.
to $1
Yeah.
billion, whether you have that money to begin with or not. There's not very many people that can take $1 million and turn it into $1 billion. I admire that.
Yeah. I don't know. Come back to me. I have no idea. I've never thought about that.
Well, I do like this real estate coach. He's really raw. I like him. His work ethic, like passion. I just love anybody that wants to work hard and hustles. I don't know if you've heard of him. His name is Brian Casella. He's very, I guess he turned the old school into new school, like still methods. So I like him. I'd like to say, man, these are like tough. I mean,
Dead or alive. They don't have to be in real estate. They don't have to
Right.
be
Dead
music.
or alive.
Yeah,
They
they're
could be
alive.
family.
yeah. I
You
mean,
know, this can't be a religious deity.
Yeah, right. I mean, my grandma, honestly, she raised me. A little background about me. I was born in Mexico, and I came here to the United States when I was like 5 years old. My whole family, like, they owned a dealership. Like, they just, like, my parents inspired me, to be honest. And I have to give it up for them because they didn't have a lot of education when they came over here, and they made a car dealership business happen. It was big, and it's time. They just spoiled us rotten. Honestly, we never lacked anything. And as a parent now, like going to the movies or Six Flags, things like that, I'm like, damn, they really took a whole family of like 8 and like didn't limit us in anything, you know. And so now as a parent, and I see what they did with the little education, like there's no way I can limit myself, like with the tools and, you know, amazing brokers that support me, that make it happen. I mean, the thing I love about them, and if I can boast about them for a little bit, is like their vision. Like you hear everything that they have going on. Honestly, when they interviewed me and I said, where do you see yourself in a couple of years, because I know where I want to go, so I'm like, are these the people to lead me, right? I asked them, and so they see real Fort Worth, real Plano, real everywhere. You're gonna see real Dallas, I'm sure of it. And so that's the type of people that inspire me, that motivate me, that I can see they can do it, I can do it, and even better also, you know. And everybody eats, right, from the same table. So yeah, that's what
I love that.
Back to you,
Shout out
Nika.
to mom and dad.
Yes.
Back to you. I'm not letting you off the hook.
Does she have two?
She said mom and dad. We'll let her make it with mom
No,
and dad.
Nika.
Yeah, Nika's got two more.
Oh my god.
I'm not letting you off the hook.
Guess I should have thought harder. I guess another like it would be another celebrity, Jennifer Lopez. She's also kind of like Pitbull to me as well, because she came from nothing, and she, I mean, look at her now, like she's everywhere, like everybody knows her.
Good or bad, right? I love that.
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
like they're talking about her, and she's doing things regardless of people's opinions, you know.
Yeah.
So that's the vibe.
Yeah, and I guess the last would probably be my husband, just because he was like our number one supporter. And it's just him like seeing everything that we're doing and that way he knows what we're gonna do.
You said opinions, and I don't maybe just given what I had to deal with today. Let me tell all three of you. You already know, man. Who cares about what somebody's opinion is? I honestly only value the opinion of my wife, my daughter, and that's about it. Outside of that, everything else is and you and everything. Hey, outside. Hey, honestly, and hey, you think hey he's the same way. Like honestly, when it comes to people's opinions outside of those two or three people, like everything else is subject to an investigation. I do not care. I don't care. Like I've got somewhere I'm trying to get to. Your opinion of me matters not. If you don't like me, what's that?
I said, keep talking about
I don't even care about that. My thing is, okay, I got somewhere to be. If you don't like me, that's fine. That's no problem at all. I'm a great communicator. If you don't like me, but go ahead and tell me up front, so that way we're on the same page. Versus you thinking that I like you and I don't. Because if I don't like you, I'll tell you. You'll know off top. I don't like. Yeah, he'll tell you. You'll know very quickly. I don't like you. So. When you said opinions, like who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Or they try to limit, their own beliefs onto you.
You've got a goal, a dream, or a vision, if you will. Man, go for that shit. Yeah. Step on. It's all gas, no brakes.
Because other people are doing it.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah, like it's your world, right? You're your main character. Like you do what you got to do.
Who cares about somebody's opinion? I give less than.
You can have a totally different life at any moment. Any decision can take you to a totally different life.
Yeah,
for sure.
You just have to choose it.
And I love this right now. You know what I mean? Like this is what the show is about, and hanging out with positive people that are doing amazing things in their walk of life. I really commend you guys and pat you guys on the back. I'm looking forward to you guys doing amazing things in the future. And speaking of the future, you dropped a word in your interview, which is a question that I ask on every episode. And what is the long-term vision, for Real Dallas?
So our long-term vision is to be a global brand. Real Dubai, Real London, Real any major city in the world that you can think of. We also, want to expand vertically. Real staging, real,
Renovation.
Yeah, there's a ton that we could take. Real investments, there's so many ideas that we have, truly.
Real land acquisitions.
Yeah, exactly. So just anything that has to do with real estate, we want to be a part of it. Nika and I personally also have goals as far as like investment portfolios. We definitely want to own as many doors as possible. Multiplexes, multifamilies, high rises. That is our ultimate goal. 7 streams of income, all from real estate.
Speaking our language, I told you it's gonna be fun.
I mine is 7 too, so I'm with you. All right, so we're gonna turn it up a little bit and ask some tough questions, okay? As we land the plane. There you go. I like Nika.
Good, isn't it?
I like Nika.
Yeah.
I like Nika.
She said if I'm drinking, they can't speak to me.
What advice? I'm going to actually spend the time for each of them. Okay.
I know.
What advice would you be giving yourself from 5 years ago? So, you guys, we got a magical time machine, so we're going to rewind the clock. 5 years ago.
Stop doubting yourself.
Stop doubting yourself.
Keep going. I was at a corporate office working, crazy hours, giving it my best. I reached the top till, there's no more top. So I would definitely say work for yourself. Like, take that leap.
Take the lead.
Yeah. Just go for it.
Go for it. All right. That was the easy part. Now, we're going to fast forward the clock 5 years from now. What advice are you giving yourself? What advice is the older version of yourself? What advice are they giving you today?
My older self today.
Push
They're
harder.
looking back to you right now and coaching you, and they're telling you what?
To get where I need to go. Is that what you're asking? Oh, yeah. I'll definitely say keep doing what you're doing. Keep thinking big as you are. You're going to get there. Like, think big. Don't limit yourself. You're going to get there. Like, it's only a matter of time, for sure.
Speak it.
I'm kind of hard on myself, so I always say, like, you could go harder. Go harder.
Your older self is telling you to go harder.
Yeah. It's worth it.
All right, so this is documented.
Yeah.
So in 5 years,
I'm
you're
come
going to
back
look
in
back.
5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 5 years, when we're all celebrating, we're all rolling in it. We'll hold you to this.
Okay, bet. I love that.
All right, Nika, close us out.
I think maybe breathe a little more.
Yeah. It's a good one, too.
Stop it.
And enjoy,
Yeah.
a big thing for us is like I have to tell her like, hey, like we did that, like because we kind of, it's always one thing after another, and we have accomplished so much in these 2 years that sometimes it's like, wow, like I'm really proud of us, and I'll text her sometimes just like, hey,
And
I'm
it's
so
like
proud.
the thing is too, like we accomplish one thing, but then like we move on like straight to the next thing. It's like we don't. I feel like we don't take in that moment. And truly enjoy like what we just accomplished. We just
It's the
move
gift
to the
and the
next
curse.
thing.
Yeah.
I
Because
think-
you're trying to strive to
Yeah.
achieve, like, you're in this mode, like, I'm not worried. Okay, I knocked this down. Great. What's next?
Yeah.
Like, you're not in the space where you feel comfortable enough to where I can say, you're not ready to celebrate yet because
But,
you didn't reach your goal.
You and I have played sports, and I'm not sure if y'all played sports, but if it's a victory, right?
24 hours.
Celebrate the victory for 24 hours. So here's what I'm going to challenge you guys to do, especially as leadership in the business, right? Your next milestone, whatever that may be, small, medium, or large, celebrate that moment with the team. So I want to say thank you so much to each one of you beautiful ladies, talented, love your vision, love your attitude, love your mindset, love your spirit. Thank y'all for being on the show. It's been an absolute treat for the both of us.
Absolutely.
Remember, visionaries, each one of our guests are dropping nuggets of wisdom here on the Trail of Life. Ultimately, it's up to you to pick them up.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Mosley. He is Ryan Cuffey. Thank you to Nika, Luna, and Damaris of Real Dallas Properties, and we will see you guys next week on another great episode of the Vision Lab podcast.
Blessings.